And we are live.
We're back. What's the episode?
15.
No, what's the
Oh,
thing?
focus and goals.
Focus and goals. Hey, everybody, welcome to Does It Get Better? Weekly mental health podcast where I'm Neil.
And I'm Rich.
And this week's episode is Focus and Goals.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard at the very beginning. Rich, you picked the topic. Would you like to elaborate on why?
Yeah, I think because we're coming into a change of season, and we're also coming up on a year of, the whole quarantine, being stuck at home, repetitive nature of the last year of our world. And I think at this point, I've been focusing a lot on anniversaries and like days that I remember of last year being really bad and all this kind of stuff. So what I wanted to do, excuse me, is to give myself a more positive look at the next stretch of months rather than giving it this shitty thing happened this day and then this shitty thing happened this day. So focusing on positive stuff. What that positive stuff can be, just little things like, I'm going to go to the store today and buy a fucking fruit pie that I want to eat because that's what I want to do. Or big things like start working out again, starting your garden, starting, whatever, starting a more consistent relationship with somebody. And the goals are just like, I just want to sort of set more mile markers of positivity, and whether they be physical, mental, with relationships with people, whatever it is. I think it's a good point instead of looking backwards. And a lot of people are doing, I see it on social media, and I knew this was going to start happening, is that people are like, oh, March 2020, and like, kind of like, oh, it's not going to be, and then March 2021, and it's like, people are just doing that thing. And
Yeah.
for me,
2 weeks, you said.
yeah.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
52 weeks.
52 weeks.
52 weeks.
So for people like me who went through a very, very large roller coaster of mental health ups and downs the last year, it's better to kind of focus on the future rather than just keep looking backwards. So, I might have to take a little bit of a break as far as what I'm looking at on social media, or, just kind of, I'm really, 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 like, even I was joking about manifesting summer with my sleeveless shirt. I really thrive when the weather gets warmer and I can go outside and just like be outside for extended amount of time. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I just really want it to be warmer out so I can start my garden, so I can start planting flowers, so I can start doing stuff in the yard that I didn't get to do last summer when I moved into the house and stuff. So focus and goals, man. It's just something that's probably going to be really important for a lot of people. They don't realize it yet. Like right now, it's just a joke. Like, oh yeah, a year ago we bought all that toilet paper, remember? But like, check your mental health and don't bury the the things in the back of your mind, because they'll sneak up on you for sure.
Have you used all the toilet paper that you bought last year?
No, I have not. No.
Yeah, we still have. We didn't hoard either. We were just like, I just bought like one extra package. I was like, let me get this extra package.
just one extra. Yeah.
Because it was like hard to find. I was like, that's a pretty, I mean, I've always had a pretty solid rule about like never running out of toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when people started like stocking up on it, I was like, all right, let me just get one extra package.
Just in case. That's how I was too. I lived alone. I was in my studio apartment then. And when everything started ramping up, I was like, all right, this is getting a little out of hand, but I don't shit that much, A, and B, I don't use that much toilet paper anyway. So I bought some extra, and then like I think it was like March was when everything started to happen, and then in July is when I moved from my apartment to the house, when I moved when we bought the house in July. So March, April, May, June, July. So those 4 months, I still had the sealed extra package. Yeah. And I think it's still in my bathroom closet now, to be honest with you.
Because I guess, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess, we don't really use a roll a week.
Right. Yeah.
So if you have like 2 24-packs, that's a year.
It really is. Yo,
I remember the day I got it too, because it was like right at the beginning, and there was like all these rules about like how to go shopping, and like the first hour was old people hour.
That's right. Yep.
And I was like, well, let me go right at the end of that first hour, because if I have to mug someone for toilet paper, it's easier to mug an old person as they're loading their car. So I went right at the end of the hour, and I went to the aisle, and there was nothing in the aisle. And then I saw, like, just like out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone who had like tried to buy too many like broccolis or whatever.
Yep.
They wouldn't let them buy the extra broccoli. They threw the broccoli into a cart that was in the front. And I was like, let me go check the front.
Like the extra, yeah.
For a package of toilet.
Yeah.
And I went to the front, and there it was. And I was like, gink. I was like, uno más roll of toilet paper, por favor.
That shit was wild, man. Have you been to a place like Target or any of those kind of places lately, and like their insane amount of backstock of hand sanitizer and wipes and all that stuff now? Because a couple weeks ago I was in Target, and I noticed there's like hand sanitizer on clearance now. It went from being like 500% markup to being on clearance, which is just like, it's just such a weird phenomenon.
Because once they were like, oh, you can't get it from shaking hands. Dude, people were paranoid at the beginning. People were microwaving their mail. You remember that?
I didn't hear about microwaving your mail, but I believe it.
People would take their mail, people were latex gloving, take their mail, put it in the microwave, cook it, throw out the gloves, and then let it sit there for like 3 hours before like getting their mail.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
I was like, yo, if it's that easy, give it to me. Let me go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to get it that easy,
yeah,
I can't be.
Yeah.
I barely wash my hands as it is. Dude, I never realized how much I rub my eyes. You're like, don't touch your eyes. And I was like, what do you mean don't touch my eyes? I was like, I'm currently touching my eyes. Dude, it was crazy.
Yeah.
The beginning was crazy.
My mom telling me, don't touch your face, don't touch your face. Same thing, eyes, face, like touch your face. And yeah, like I was so conscious of it right away. And I was like, oh my God, why do I touch my face so much? And now I can't. So I was doing all those weird moves where you just like rub it on your shoulder, or like do like weird stuff with like paper towels, and like just doing these weird things to prevent any contact to yourself. And now it's just like, oh, all right, I'll wash my hands.
You don't have Facebook, so you miss out on a lot of the good stuff.
Thank God. Ugh.
Yo, dude, the doctors on Facebook, the scientists, the rocket scientists, or what are they called? The epidemiologists. Yo, they had all the advice at the beginning. All of it. Anything you needed to know. There was a lunatic that was ready to tell you. I remember this one kid like diatribed on my Facebook page because like what I just question stuff. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I was like, all right, so we're shutting down all of the economy because old people are gonna die. Old people are gonna die. I was like, all right. And then I forget what I asked. I asked like, whatever. Like, so you can like if you can get it from touching stuff. The gloves when you take off, like if you touch a thing,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
if you touch a thing with your gloves and then you touch like your phone and then you take off your gloves later, it's still on your phone. Like, is it
Yeah.
still on your phone?
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't understand. Cause like if you go like a tattoo artist, when they put the gloves on and tattoo you, they cover everything in plastic.
Right. Right. Right.
And then when they're done, everything gets undone with plastic and they take off their gloves. So I was like, if we're not covering everything with plastic, then the gloves.
Like you're
And
just
then
putting
some
it on an easier thing to like put it somewhere else. Like, oh,
Yeah.
just giving it a
And then-
vehicle to get somewhere.
And then some kid I went to high school with just went on this like 8-page tangent about like everyone's gonna be wearing goggles. I'm gonna be wearing goggles in the future because it's, you know, the spit gets in your eye. And I mean that might be true, but
Sure.
I don't see goggles.
No, I don't. The
I've seen some
chances
face
of
masks.
spit getting into the eye nowadays. I mean,
Spit in your eye.
like,
So you all right? So you have like an interesting relationship with social media, like
yeah.
how, like how does that come about? Like where you're like social media kind of like helped you reacclimate
Mm-hmm.
to social life.
Yeah. Yep.
So when you need a break from it, like do you go back into like a hole? Like you know, what's that like
It's
for
pretty
you?
much. I'm pretty much in a hole as normal. Like my normal is kind of like very insular. I'm very much like I don't have much contact with much of anything unless I go on to Instagram or if I go onto like the Magic the Gathering Twitter that I'm like that's very hyper focused there. Like I don't see much out of that. But as I see more stuff, like if I'm what they call it, doom scrolling, you know, you just kind of like you're just scrolling and scrolling, and then you click in and you click and you're seeing more and more. I recognize that that's not healthy, and basically I can just be like, all right, if I need to speak to or see anything about this certain thing or this person, I can go seek it out myself. But I think it's a good time to take a break, and I can even, you know, I could delete Instagram from my phone and not feel like I'm missing something, and that's important. Like a lot of people, I think, are like, if they don't have it, they're like, it's like they need it. I luckily have never been a part of Facebook, which I'm very thankful for. Like I signed up for it for like a day when it first came out, and then I just like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like, because nobody had it. It was a very strange interaction back then. I remember. And
It wasn't as good as Friendster.
It wasn't as good as Friendster.
It's no make-out club.
But yes, that's kind of where I am. I'm like, at this point, I am very used to being, I don't know, out of the loop almost. Just kind of like, I kind of get what's going on in the news, and you know, other than that, I kind of will just be like, all right, what shitty thing's gonna happen when I try to better my life now? You know what I mean? Like, that's about it.
Brute. Did we talk about this on the pod?
What's that?
That you weren't able to get, you're not eligible for the vaccine for some reason?
Right. Rhode Island doesn't recognize. I'll put it that way, and it sounds shitty.
Well, it is. They're being shitty.
Service industry people are not on the list of eligible.
They don't
people.
recognize service people as humans. Yeah.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I'm still waiting.
Bring me my stuff, but I don't care if you're safe.
Right. That's exactly right. Still waiting. I did get funny that you mentioned that. I just got an email from the Massachusetts hospital system that I had been a part of when I lived in Massachusetts. They were like, you might be eligible for the vaccine but I'm not, because like the first thing is like, are you a resident of Massachusetts? No, not anymore. So yeah, so we're still holding out over here. It's just like, all right, we're very much in the lower percentile of how states are rolling out eligibility and stuff. I got a flyer in the mail last week or 2 weeks ago. Not even like a poster. It was huge. It was like 20 by 20 poster, but folded up 4 ways. And it was like ways to prevent COVID-19. I'm like, it's March 2021 and they're still sending out things that say, wash your hands, stay socially distant, make sure you wear a face mask when you go out in public. And then on the bottom, it's like, to see if you're eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine, go on to cdc.ri. whatever. And it's like, right there just made me realize I'm not getting this vaccine anytime soon. If they're sending out instructions on how to wash your hands a year later. It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah. I've gotten a dose since talking about it.
Good for you, man. Good for you. How did you do it? You're just allowed? You're
I'm fat.
Stop it.
Yo. So, first of all, it's very insulting because they're like, if you're morbidly obese, which is like 40 BMI, or obese, which is 30 BMI or greater. It's like, yo, just say if you're obese.
Yeah. Don't put stages to it. Yeah, just
if you're obese or morbidly obese, you fat whale. But yeah, it was the easiest thing.
Wait, can we go back 1 second though and touch on is that really why your weight is why you were allowed? Really? Okay. So what did you do? You just
Is that insane?
That's to me that's
you can't get it. You work in the food industry, you can't get it.
Right.
I can get it because I'm fat.
You can come and eat. I can serve you.
I eat in the food industry.
Wow. So what is the question I assume is like, is your weight this? Is it like a threshold? It's just such a fucking weird thing for me.
If your BMI is 30 or greater.
I see. Okay.
Which like you're probably 30 or greater.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like not even fat. It's like I know bodybuilders that are 30 or greater.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. The BMI thing is like so outdated and wrong.
And also, I know I have a friend who got her first dose because she went to Walgreens as they were closing and was like, "You don't happen to have any left over from today?"
Oh, like the extra. I've heard about that. Yeah.
Like, yeah, we do. We got to get rid of them. Come on.
Oh man.
You can't have one.
No, I can't. Well, that's cool. So it was easy. What did you sign up online and then?
No, I'm hearing nightmares. I'm hearing that. Oh, the thing you got. Oh, if you're lucky enough to get a thing. Oh, I gotta. All this stuff. I know some guy was like selling a hack. Like he was able to get get it.
Uh-huh.
He was like, "Oh, if you give me your information, I'll get you an appointment, or
God.
if you need to move up your appointment." I even had a friend do something for me where he was like, "Oh, I know how to get it. I can get it," and he got me like March 30th. He got me, and I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "All right, March 30th," and then like you know how my brain works. So I'm like,
I do.
I'm gonna die of COVID on March 28th.
Oh my God.
Like, what a kick in the dick. Like I survived a year. I'm gonna die right before I was like, I need it now. So I just started Googling, and in Nassau County you can pre-register. So it's like you don't have to be eligible, you just pre-register. Get my name in the system, which is like, that's the big one. It's like, everyone's so paranoid. Oh, I want to, it's like, you're on your phone.
Yeah.
They're following you. God, if you were doing anything interesting, they got you. They know. If you were not the most boring person on earth, they know. Stop flattering yourself. You're a nobody. They don't care.
Right.
So I put in my information. And they're like, "Oh, you are a nobody. We don't care." I get an email 2 days later. It's like, not even. I get an email the next day. It's like, see if there's appointments available. And then of course there's no appointments available.
Of course. Like the DMV.
But I noticed this, right? They only gave me those days. Like that, like whatever, like so it was March 4th and they only gave me March 5th availability.
Okay.
Nothing was available. So just like, your limited edition brains kicks in and I'm like, oh, I'm like, refresh at 4:30
Yeah.
when they put the next days up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was exactly it. It was 4:30. I was sitting around the apartment. I was like, oh, let me check if there's any available for tomorrow. Hit refresh. Everything was available.
Mm-hmm.
The first few in the morning weren't, like someone else was doing it.
Right.
I was like, hey babe, can you drive me over there at 3 tomorrow? She was like, yeah, sure. 3 o'clock. Got there. What's your name? Oh, make sure you bring your this.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
One
All
of
your
these.
IDs and all this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm carrying
like
a
a
box like
tote.
I'm going to Discovery at you know. I'm like, they're not turning me away at the DMV. I get there, it's a couple like cops or EMTs at the front. Name, Rubenstein. Neil? Yeah. Okay. And then they're like, you can't come in to Kathleen. And she's like, all right.
Darn.
He goes, waits in the car. I walk in. There's like a line. No, there's not even a line. There's no line. Sorry. I walk in. There's like a little voter registration table. They're like ID. I show my ID. They're like, all right, go inside, get online. I go in line. 5 people in front of me, 6 people in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm online maybe 10 minutes. Go to booth 10. It's a very lovely lady, Holly. Asks a bunch of questions, doctory stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like any allergies, any this, are you sick? Do you have COVID? Currently have COVID? And I'm like, I don't. I'm like, and in fact, I started getting like a little bit of a cold. I had a cough on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, here it is. I got it.
That's what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
I had a cough on Wednesday. So Thursday, I just Ubered up to urgent care for a rapid test. I was like, I need to know immediately
course.
if I'm
Yep.
dying of COVID. I didn't have it. I was like, I gotta get an appointment. They're like, do you have COVID? I'm like, no, I have a little thing that says negative. She's like, we don't care. Put all your paperwork away.
Put that box away, weirdo.
And yeah, she's like, why are you? And then she goes, and then she like pauses for a second. She's like, wait, why are you eligible? And I was like, oh no. I was like, do I lie? And I was like, I'm fat. Isn't that enough? I'm like, I can make something else up. And she's like, oh no, fat's enough. She's like, oh yeah, you're totally fat. She just goes, sign this paper, and it's just a paper that's like lists all the ways you're eligible.
Right.
And it's like, just sign that you're one of these
One
things.
of those. Yeah. Yep.
Anybody.
It doesn't make sense, man. If that's
Well,
if that's the
It makes sense in the way that it's like they want everyone to get it eventually.
yeah, of course.
And once you reserve it, they can't give it to. It's going to expire at the end of the day. They got to give it out,
Right. Right.
right? It becomes useless at the end of the day. So they have to give it out. So it's like they're like, oh, just so there's no huge rush, we're only giving it to these people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get in, they're just like, yeah,
Come on, just come on, just go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, good
So
for
she
you.
gave it to me, and I'm sick as a dog from it.
Yeah.
I assume it's from it. I'm like, I've been sick since I got it. I have like,
You feel
really bad cough the first couple of days, and
Mhm.
now I'm like all congested and shit. I don't know if it's just, yeah, it's probably just my immune system being like, all right, something's in here,
Yeah,
you
you were
know?
starting to get sick, kind of like you said, like you had a cough or whatever, and now you have
Yeah,
this weird thing inside. Yeah. Well, but I mean, good job getting it. When you get a second one too, isn't that the process? You got to get a
April
second
3rd,
one.
and that was an even easier process
Hmm.
because I thought you get the appointment there, so I'm like, oh, I'm like, I get the appointment here, and she's like, no, they'll send you an email, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be the same process. I'd have to like hit refresh at
Yeah,
like
yeah,
4:30, which was fun. Like, I mean, as far as like ailments go,
yeah.
like or like not ailments, as far as like annoying things go. But yeah, I got the email the next day. So yeah, I got the thing Saturday, and then yesterday I got the email and made the appointment right away.
Good for you. Congratulations. That's good to hear. That's good
Yeah,
to hear.
and now, the thing is though, because they, everyone's worried about the microchip.
Stop it. Jesus Christ.
Listen, I'm not saying that there is a microchip,
You better not
but they
be.
were like, could you wait here 15 minutes while it reboots? And I was like, what? They were like, no, nothing. We just want to make sure you don't faint. So there is something to the microchip thing. They were like, oh, it's just wait in this calibration chamber. And I was like, what? Oh. I was like, is this the Moderna or the Pfizer? They were like, Apple. This is the Apple one. This is Google.
Yeah, it's the G chip. I mean, the G vaccine. I mean, the. What? Yeah.
How
Good
come
job.
COVID spelled with a little I now? I. Yeah, man. COVID 21.
Good job. Good job on getting the vaccine. Let me know how you feel. That's what I'm not concerned about. That's the only thing I'm just looking forward to getting through is like getting it and getting the side effects out of the way and just being like, all right, finally you got it. So you can kind of like rest easier. It's like I just want that little bit of normalcy, feeling of
Yeah.
normalcy, because I still feel like I did a year ago. Like when everything was like full swing and it's like there's a deadly virus in the world. And I think we talked about it last week, or we've talked about it previous weeks, just kind of how it's still out there, whether people are getting vaccinated or not. But people are just kind of like, nah, couple 100,000 people are vaccinated, so that means it's gone away. But like, we're turning our heads to the fact that there's new strains and states like being like, it's fine, don't wear masks. Like that's where my like
Well, no,
doubt
this
kicks in.
this is what's like killing me, man. It's the same thing. Like people get like people just look for stuff to be out. They didn't say don't wear a mask.
Well, they don't have to. You
You
don't
don't have to wear.
Right.
You don't have to anyway.
Right.
No
Right.
one has to. You do what you want. And then places are like, well, then don't come in here. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, well, I guess I don't come in there. You don't have to do anything. It's advised you wear a mask. So the same people that are like, you're not making me wear a mask, those lunatics, it's like the same on the other side where they're like, oh, now Texas, you're not allowed to wear a mask. What? No, what? That's not what they're saying. Most places are like, yeah, wear a mask when you come in here. We don't want you in here without a mask.
Right. Right.
But
It's just
I'm
giving.
also not getting shot over you not wearing a mask.
Right.
So if you don't want to wear a mask, I guess fucking just stay the fuck away from me. It's just so crazy. People, the Dr. Seuss thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, Dr. Seuss gets canceled, but WAP is the number one. No one's canceling Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss chose not to keep printing like a bunch of racist ass books.
Yep.
It was probably like, I won't eat it with a box. I won't eat it with a gook. It was probably the fly. And they're like, yo, you can't do that
can't do
anymore.
that.
He's
Stop it.
He was like, you know what? People aren't buying this book. Let's stop making this book. They didn't burn all the books.
Yeah.
They just stopped making them. And they chose. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, now it's Mr. Potato Person. Yeah, I guess it is. Now Lola Bunny can't have titties. Why do you want her to have titties so bad? You fucking weirdo. Oh, we're just supposed to stop fucking our children? Yeah.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just supposed to stop fucking children. Yes. Governor Cuomo. Governor Cuomo was like, oh, I can't just randomly hit on every woman I come across. Like,
Oh man.
I guess not.
Talk
you
about
know?
a 180, huh? Him like being like the fucking figurehead of how to wrangle a national pandemic, and then a year later he's being all defamed. So
He sucks. Fuck him.
he's
Because he overdid it. He overdid it anyway.
yeah.
All these fucking politicians, man.
How's your leg, by the way? How's your foot?
Looks great.
Is it for real?
Yeah. I walked without a cane yesterday.
Nice.
I mean, in a boot, but without a cane.
Yeah. I saw a guy walking through a parking lot with a boot on, and I thought of you. I was like, oh wow, that's what Neil's probably doing. It's really cool.
Yeah, just walking through a parking lot.
Just walking through parking lots.
Just walking through parking lots. I was gonna go on some tangent. Thank you for stopping.
You're welcome. I felt it coming, so I needed to put up a roadblock.
I feel like I had a good joke coming. What was right before?
What was right before the Dr. Seuss, Governor Cuomo,
Cuomo.
microchips, mental health podcast about microchips, Governor Cuomo, and Dr. Seuss.
I'm gonna get canceled for that.
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss joke.
Yeah, you are.
What did I
It'll come to you, I'm sure.
Nah, it won't. Now I'm bummed because I feel like it was gonna be a good one. Cuomo. He's awful. Damn it. Oh. I was saying politicians don't work for us. They work for Lockheed Martin. That is a good joke. Politicians work for us. Yeah. Right.
Yo, that actually, you know what? Funny thing, you just said that. I actually took a step that was recommended by a politician to people who didn't get their second stimulus check, which is me. I was entitled to it and didn't get it. Somebody recommended reaching out to your local representative, which I did. And their office emailed me back, and the I don't want to say secretary, but the person who handles that stuff for that representative called me, and I was like, because I filled out an email thing like, I didn't get my stimulus check. I heard that our local representatives are here to help us in these situations. So the dude calls, we talk, and he just essentially just says everything the IRS already told me, which was a big bummer because it was like, I thought I like got like an in. I thought like I did something like,
Right.
Utilized a thing that
resource?
not everybody. Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, this is cool. So I was talking. He's like, yeah, well, did you already file your taxes this year? I was like, yeah, actually, I did them actually, and I owe a bunch of money because unemployment, whatever. Like, oh, well, if you go back and amend, because I didn't claim that there's like a rebate on your taxes this year, that if you didn't get one of them and were entitled to them, you click a box and then you get that refunded to you. And I told the guy, I was like, I didn't do that because I want the money. I don't want the money to go back to the government instead of, having to pay my tax bill.
Right.
He's like, oh, well, unfortunately, that's kind of what's going to happen. I was like, really? So I went back and I amended my taxes because I wanted to make sure that even if I owed $1,800 that I owe $1,200 instead. I was like, all right, fine. If I'm not going to get the money to me, I wanted the money because I want to pay the bills that are like physically here. I don't want to pay back the government. You know what I mean? Like that's what the whole point was. So I went back and I amended my tax return. And through the software that I used like a free government software that they recommend if you make under a certain amount of money. You just do it for free, and it's awesome. But it said after I amended it, it said I will get a $600 refund. It didn't say. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if they're just going to direct deposit me $600 or they're gonna knock off $600 and what they. But at the end, like if you do your shit online, you'll see like green or red, like you owe or you don't. Yeah. I had like a green $600 refund entitled to me. So like I finalized it. It got accepted at the IRS. So I don't know what that means, but I guess if I hadn't called the state representative, David Cicilline, I wouldn't have done it. So, in turn, it ended up working out, so at this point, I just kind of resigned to like, I'm not getting the $600. That's where my brain is. I'm like, I'm not going to get it. I was entitled to it, which pisses me off, and I should have gotten it. It got lost in the mail. The fact that they can just be like, oh, it got lost in the mail, sorry, is just like the craziest thing ever. That's all they have to say. And then they put you to work. They're like, all right, well then it got lost in the mail, so you have to wait 6 weeks, and you can call this phone number, and then you start a trace. That takes 8 to 16 weeks, and then like, whew, okay. But my next door neighbor got their $600 a day after it got released to the government, and
yours.
So anyway, yeah, that's just it was like a kind of an interesting roundabout. Like, oh, all right, cool. My state representative kind of helped me, but kind of didn't. But I was talking to this dude, and he was I could tell he was kind of younger, and he was giving me like
he's probably an unpaid intern.
Probably. I don't doubt it. Yeah. And he was like, I was like, listen, I was like, I know you probably can't give your opinion on political things, but I'm like, you understand.
This sounds ridiculous, right?
I was like, you understand why I would want that money that the people were entitled to in order to survive during this pandemic, rather than, oh, it got lost, then just give it back to the government when you do your taxes. That makes no sense, right? He's like, yeah, I really can't answer that question. And I was like, all right, I understand. And he goes, but you should have another stimulus coming if everything goes blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. He's like, thanks for letting me vent for a second. He's like, I understand. Like, he definitely wanted to say that it sounded ridiculous, because it is. The whole situation is just ridiculous. But I recovered. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Your turn. Your turn. No, you go.
No, because I'm just on this same topic, so you finish it.
No, I was just recovering.
No, you go.
No, you go. This is us at a light, at a stop sign, like you and I, just like, no, you go. I had just resigned myself to not getting this money, and kind of just like accepting, if I didn't have it to begin with and I don't get it, I didn't lose anything, right? The principle of the whole thing really messes with me. Like, I got a letter from the IRS that's in fact right next to me, right here, Form 1444B, that says I have been issued.
Form 1444B.
1444B.
I know that form.
You have been given approved for a payment of $600, which was issued by check or debit card. Oh, really? Was it? Did it just get mixed into my mail and I threw it away? Or did it just never get here? Or did somebody find it and like go and spend it? You know what I mean? Like,
also, doesn't that seem ridiculous that they can't track it?
Absolutely does.
Come on,
so anyway, I just kind of was like, that was a little bit of a stressor. Go ahead.
So they can track me through the vaccine,
right? But
they can't tell where their money is going.
Right, exactly. They just send it out all willy-nilly, but
yeah.
It's been a rough month for me financially because of this stuff that happened with the DMV, when I had to shell out $500 extra for the taxes thing, and then getting the car registered, which is another $175, and my insurance went up because I moved to I changed states on my insurance, and my insurance is like $35 more a month, which is literally half of what I was initially paying a month. I was paying like $70 a month for insurance, and it went up $35, which is wild. But you know, that $600 would have been awesome to just kind of have, you know, extra. It would have gone away really fast, but it would have been nice to have had. But goals, man, goals are to make some more money. Now you go. Now you go.
I did have no you. No, what were you saying? I did have a good experience with my local representative.
You did.
We flirted. Because when unemployment started, I wasn't gonna try because I was like, I've seen this story before. Like, I'm a freelancer or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. Whatever. But someone was like, no, try. So I was like, all right, I'll try. And I tried, and you know, whatever, it was like impossible to hear from anyone. I forget even how it happened. But then someone in one of my, I will say that a good thing about Facebook is the groups. Sometimes they have good groups.
My mom
Like,
loves Facebook groups.
Yeah, I'm in a bankruptcy group that was super.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good.
It was very informative. And it was tight. I was here. I'm rubbing my eye. You just gave me. You coughed.
I coughed into your eye. Yeah, there you go.
That's it. Now I have the COVID. Now I have the COVID vaccine microchip. What? Oh, I'm in a group. It's like a freelancers group, and then someone posted in the group, "Hey, what had happened was I had been having difficulty getting through the unemployment. I reached out to my local representative. I just sent an email to their office, and then within the week, I had heard back from unemployment.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it's coincidence or whatever."
Yeah.
And then like 100 testimonials. Yep, same thing. As soon as I reached out to my representative, then I heard back from. So I was like, all right. So I hadn't heard back from unemployment. I reached out. I sent an email on I sent an email like 3 a.m. Sunday night. And then Monday, 9 a.m., the phone rang. And it was unemployment.
Wow.
You're like, hey, how you doing?
You guys have to do phone interviews or whatever?
How you doing? No, it wasn't
it was just to kind of sort it out or whatever.
I forget what they wanted to know.
They
wanted me to do missed a step or something.
Of course, make it as hard as possible. Yeah.
What?
Make it as hard as possible. Because why would you want to make things easy these days?
They make it as hard as possible, but I will say that it wasn't a nightmare. I was expecting it to be a nightmare, and it hasn't been yet. Now I'm a little nervous because now we're going on.
Yeah, same boat. I know we're coming up
once
on
it's over a year.
Yeah, yep.
I'm worried that I'll have to recertify or whatever, and I'm I don't even remember what I did. I don't remember what lies I told.
Right.
To get it in the first place.
I'm kind of, this is the next thing. If it was, so the DMV saga was my big anxiety thing for last month. Now this month, my unemployment for the year runs out on Sunday.
It's everybody.
Every single person runs out on Sunday.
But they passed.
it. But
the Senate passed it. It's got to go through everything.
There's going to be it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess.
I don't know, man, because as little faith as I have in the government, I will say they had been doing they had been doing the right thing all along with this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it is in Rhode Island, but like I remember it was like the 300 the so it was 600 for a while,
Right, and then it went down to
and then it went
three.
and then it was going to be 300 for 6 weeks. It was like a
Right.
bonus. That I just got a text and it was like, just keep certifying. You know, you'll get the money will come the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And then my things run out because it was like whatever, I was only supposed to get 26 weeks or
Right,
40
right.
weeks or whatever. And then I got another just a text being like, Department of Labor, you're fine. Just keep certifying. You're entitled to whatever. There's extensions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that this is the same.
Yeah, I assume we're all gonna go through a similar, like there's gonna probably be a crazy 2 weeks that nobody's gonna give it. It's just gonna be nobody's gonna get anything, nobody's gonna have an answer, and all the Department of Labors are just kind of gonna be like, just hold tight, we're fixing it for you, don't call us. You know what I mean? So because it's been a year now, and there's been two like ends of unemployment essentially, but they've all been extended, and everything's worked out in the end, right? Everything's kind of like, but. What I worry about for Rhode Island is that no, you can't call. You cannot call. I'm sure that's like it for everybody, but you can't call. And they put up very vague information via Twitter and on their website, like we have information about the next round of extensions. Just keep certifying. There was like the last one around Christmas time. People were trying to certify, even though their shit ran out that they were supposed to get an extension for, but they couldn't certify. There was like a glitch in their software that when you would get to the certification thing, because you were no longer eligible, it wouldn't let you certify. It was just this like catch-22 where you couldn't get past a point on the software because you didn't have the right info, and then the computer didn't recognize you. It's like, that's what I'm worried about for this time. Like once everything runs out, literally like millions of people are just going to be brick walled and have to like reapply again. And is it, you know,
I think it's going to be a like I think they're going to pass it in time because they did it. They like, because even though for some reason like Ron Johnson and Mitch McConnell don't want Americans to get unemployment benefits, which I don't understand. Like, how do you guys keep voting for these fucking guys?
It's insane, man. It's insane.
Like, they literally hate you, and they, like you keep like I don't understand. But this guy, I don't know if you saw the stunt he pulled on Friday. I think his name's Ron Johnson. I remember it sounded real like a dicks.
Yeah, that's the dude who wanted the thing read. That guy.
Yeah, you saw that stunt?
Yeah, of course.
What the? All right, so this guy's a piece of shit. Literally no one's listening. Literally no one's in the building. It's just him.
Yep.
No, read it. Read it. Read it. How about just fucking vote on it? We could all get our fucking money, you piece of shit.
Yeah. It's
No, read it.
Waste 11 hours of everybody's time getting this thing in order.
So I thought for sure that like it wouldn't get voted on until Monday, but they voted on it like overnight,
It was a
Saturday morning. Yeah. So it seems like, as much as I hate both sides, it seems like the Democrats are a little bit on the like let's get this done side. So, and then Biden gave some speech where he mispronounced a bunch of words. I don't know.
What are your goals? What are your goals for
my goals?
What are your goals, Neil? What are your goals for the next few months? What are your
catch the second dose?
Catch this dose? dose?
Oh yeah, uno más dos. Uno más dos, por favor. And want to get back on the road.
How's that looking?
Yeah.
Is that
good, man?
Yeah.
Good. I got a good April, May run coming up.
Are you doing Connecticut anytime soon? You doing Mohegan or anything?
I I'm trying to do Mohegan in April to get, just like some stage time.
That's good.
I spoke to my buddy who books up there. He knows that I'm alive and
Good.
ready to rock. So
What about
hopefully,
do you ever
yeah.
do Foxwoods? Does Foxwoods have a comedy thing or no?
I
It's just
don't think Foxwoods has a comedy thing.
their poker room
But
finally opened, so I might
yeah, I know you're gonna be there.
I'll be there. All
We were
the
supposed to do I remember we were supposed to do Rhode Island that one time.
What were we gonna do?
The,
Comedy connection?
the
Comedy
Comedy
connection? Yeah.
Connection.
That's like the
We were
only
supposed to do that, and then it got bumped.
bumping.
But with that guy, with the guy who books in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So hopefully he throws me a bone before tour, just so I can like sharpen up a little.
It's great.
But I've been booking a bunch of like I'm trying to like do like one real show a week.
Yeah. You've done a
Which
couple, right? This last week, or you did at least one? Or if I follow your social media
my
correctly?
my first gig back is Thursday.
Great. Is that live or is that's a
That's live. That's live.
where's
My
that gonna
first,
be?
yeah, standing up with a boot on.
Nice.
Um, that's Thursday, so hopefully that goes well. Um, yeah, and then I have like a month and some change to get back into like performance shape, so that I can go on this run, and then hopefully when I get back from the run, life's semi-normal.
That's good. Yeah. Semi-normal. It's a lot of this shit is as normal as people make it in their head. Like for me, it's
Yeah.
like I feel like all my neighbors and stuff are like infected zombies sometimes. But then like for like what you just said, it's like normal can be like, okay, I got my vaccine and I'm staying away from people as responsibly as possible, and this is normal for me. And like being in a comedy club with like tables set, more far apart or whatever, that's normal. It's such a weird concept of like normalcy. For everybody, it's something different.
The whole, yeah, that's the thing. Like, did we talk about this? Like, I'll see people, like, I'll say something I'll say something on a Facebook thing where I'm like, I just can't wait to get back to doing stand up.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about the COVID, I'm talking about my ankle.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get back to doing stand-up. And then someone will be like, stand up's never coming back.
Why?
And I'm like, all right, you live in an isolated bubble.
Yeah. Yep.
I was on tour in October. I know that stand up is alive and well in the world.
Right.
Just because where you're from or the things that you know what I mean? Like if you don't have a frame of reference, it's the same people that are like, there's no good new music.
Right.
So where are you looking?
Yeah,
Are you
exactly,
looking on the
yeah.
70s station?
Yeah.
If you're looking on the 70s station, yes, there's no good new music.
Right.
Because on the 70s station, they're only playing things from the 70s. So you're never going to hear the good new music. Yes, you're right. But you're fucking wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have no frame of reference. You have no idea what you're talking about. And I find it on Facebook constantly where people are just like, that's not, it's over. It's like, what are you talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about. That's like, I had one bad experience at the dentist and I'm like, oh, dentist.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. How many times have you been to the dentist? 6 times?
I just wonder. I wonder how people who saw this happening last year, this time in a couple weeks when everything's shut down. I wonder how people have adjusted, or did they at all? Have they realized that there's a little bit more leeway with just like the way life is? Like in the beginning, it was like you can't go outside at all. You have to Lysol all your groceries and let them sit for 24 hours. You can't touch anything, you can't look at anything, you breathe the air outside. Like, has it changed for those people? You know, has it I guess it all kind of depends on the person, like on how, because like I just said, for me, like sometimes I feel like all my neighbors have it, and if I touch them, it's, you know, it's like one of those, I got it. But I know that's not the reality of it, you know, and I can stay 6 feet away from people if that's how I feel. I can interact with people who I know are, you know, getting tested every week because of their job, and they work in the public, so they have to get tested. It kind of relies on a lot of people's responsibility around you too, right? Like you hopefully aren't hanging out with a dude who's just like licking COVID virus and like hanging out, you know? It's like there's a responsibility that a lot of, what do they call it, your bubble or whatever? It's like, I hate that term, but yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just been a year. It's a year of reflection, I guess, for a lot of people. And I just kind of wonder where people are at that were like, that severely altered their lives so dramatically, and we're just like stuck in that. Like,
I also feel like it's such a. I know I'm on the wrong. I know I'm on the wrong side of history with this one, but it feels like to me, and it felt like, and it still feels like when I hear these people talk, the diehard stay at home, don't do anything, you don't leave the house for any essential business only people. It's so privileged.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
You don't have to go work. You don't have to work. You don't have to worry about your bills. You don't have to worry about losing your job or figuring out how to pay your rent. You don't have to worry about any of that. You can order your groceries in. You can make someone go get your groceries for you.
Yep.
And then leave them at the door, and you never have to fucking touch them. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a like, fetch me this. You know what I mean? It's such a place of privilege.
Let me get my $1,000 phone and click a couple buttons and have this person bring me this person bring me that. And
dude, and everything. It's like, well, it's a $5 delivery charge, and you have to tip the guy $5. So like, it's $10 extra to do anything, but I can do that 5 times a day, 7 times a day. I never have to interact with anybody. I have a place to live where I don't have to go to work, or I work from home. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's such a privilege.
It was a very privileged thing, yeah. No, you're right. I don't think I've ever really, I don't even look at it like that, but yeah.
I remember right at the front, it was like, people would be like, were you worried about your freedom? And they'd be like, in their pool in Malibu. And I'm like, what? No, we're not talking about freedom. We're talking about living.
Yeah.
Just stay at home and get wine delivered. I have to bring you wine.
Yeah, I'm the person that brings you the wine.
I'm the one bringing you wine.
Yeah.
So that's like, yeah. So when I see that, I'm just like, you know, obviously I would love to not have to worry about it. I would love to not have to worry about it. But I can't.
Right.
I can't. I have to go out. And there's safe, responsible ways to go out.
There really are. There are.
I went a whole year.
Yeah.
I went a whole year without catching the disease.
Yeah. Same here.
And without giving it to anyone I love.
Right. Yep.
So don't tell me it can't be done.
Yeah.
I went to a comedy club October and November. I was in a comedy club every night, all night, in various parts of the country. I wore a mask. I stayed away from people. Washed my hands. That's right. This. That's it.
Those are the three. Yep. Is that a thing? Because did you just make a thing?
No, I just made it up. That might be a thing. I'm a year late.
Yeah, you really are. Well, not for Rhode Island, because they're still sending out those flyers.
You'll put on the flyer.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just like, listen, I get it. I get your fear. I understand. I also, but also I gotta go do what I gotta do. And then
Yeah.
I hear people, that's like a fun thing I hear too, where it's like someone will be like, you know, oh, these people haven't been around in a year. And then someone will be like, I'll hear, so in comedy specifically, I'll hear people who have been hustling this whole time trying to get better. Because obviously there's not a ton of work, so it's not like we're all working, but
Right.
people are trying to get better, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll hear people be like, sorry, I couldn't go to Mike's. I was worried about killing my
Oh
family or
Jesus.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, listen, you figured out how to get your weed, right? Right? You figured out how to get your weed. So if you really gave a shit about your art, you would have figured out a way to do that too.
Right.
I didn't see you on any Zoom mics. I didn't see you at any writers' workshops. I didn't see you in the park. So don't say, you know what I mean? Like you figured out how to do the things you really cared about.
Right.
You figured it out. Don't come at me with I want to kill my grandparents.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't kill my grandparents either. I managed.
Good job.
I know I'm on the wrong side.
But your hand motion thing makes up for it. You're fine. This new thing. So you got
Wear a mask. Stay away. Wash your hands.
All right. Awesome.
And you'll be safe.
That umpire school paid off there, right?
Still got it.
You still got it. All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
10
for
years
this
later,
week.
I still got it.
Any last words for this week?
I'll tell you what, man. If all of a sudden you're paying for this content, this was the one to pay for.
This is the one.
This was the one. Listen, it's Beat Bobby Flay, and it's like all kids. It's like a kids episode.
You have TV on also.
I don't want to see the kids episode. Why do I want to watch Bobby Flay with children?
I don't know why.
Why do they do this? Who's this appeal to?
It's a good question. What's the demographic? Kids or adults or like weird adults?
If it's kids, put it on Nickelodeon. Why are you putting it on? I never understood like kids baking championship.
Yeah.
Why are you watching children? You're an adult. Stop watching children. Am I out of left field with this one?
I think the sick thing about those shows is that the people who watch are people who want to see children cry. Right? Like, isn't this like an elimination show? Like, hear me out. Like the Gordon Ramsay one where the kid cries because he gets kicked off or whatever, or he burned his lasagna.
But he's so good with kids, and it makes him feel nice.
But it's like the whole thing. Like it's like that weird, like you want to see people fail, as in it's even better when it's a child. Right? Am I the only one here? Am I that 1% demographic?
No,
Weird.
I think people do like watching kids cry, which is weird too.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just don't want. I guess like the whole thing is because the sexualization of children starts somewhere.
It doesn't start on Bobby Flay.
You know what I mean? Like what?
It doesn't start on Bobby Flay though.
No, obviously not. But it starts somewhere. Like your infatuation with children starts somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost always leads to a bad place. So I just don't watch children.
Yeah.
Like that's just, you know what I mean?
Just,
like I'm
just in
not
case?
interested.
Is this like a just in case thing? Like...
Not even just in case. Like I don't watch children. I don't watch children. I don't watch actual children. And I don't watch people pretending to be children.
Okay. That's fair.
If you're 25 and you're in a show where you're playing a 16-year-old, I don't care for that either. I'm not interested in children or people being children.
Like Riverdale. You're back on your Riverdale shit. Yeah.
The Riverdale thing, Riverdale is the most offensive thing on television. I don't want people watching this show and not like, ugh. I'll see you next week.
Okay. Good night.